Dr. Babasaheb Ambedkar, Open University.
Welcome back friends for the session of cybersecurity tools, techniques and countermeasures. Today's topic is advanced persistent threat and cyber kill chain. So let us discuss the agenda of this session. We are going to learn the advanced persistent threat in detail, how APT cycle will perform, the APT security measures and cyber kill chain. So these are the agenda of today's session. Let us discuss with the topic, that is APT security measures. We have seen in previous session how APT will work, what is exactly meaning of APT, why attacker just going for the APT, which are the resources and what actually required by the attacker and which are the main aim to perform the APT. So now next is how to prevent the network from the APT. So these are the APT security measures. We have already seen how the APT cycle will perform, which are the ways for getting the entry into the network by the attacker, which are the malicious node from where the attacker get entry. Once get the entry, the three different stages are there, the expansion and extraction. That is, once get the entry, the network expansion will be done by the APT attacker, and then the extraction, whatever information that is stolen by that attack, they are trying to move from one to another by hiding the information through the network security mechanism. So how to prevent this attack from the network? So that is APT security measures. In today's world, organization are facing critical issue from different types of advanced threats, including the traditional ones. Okay, the attackers are performing traditional ones, but with that they are also performing the advanced threat to just get the access of sensitive data. In traditional attacks, as we know, the some part of or specific part of network or specific task on network carried out by the attacker, whereas in APT in advanced threat what they are doing, they are trying to get the access of entire network and trying to fetch them as much information as they need. So that is the main aim of the attacker, and they are, for that purpose they are going for the APT. So APT, which is known as advanced persistent threat, and that can be handled just not by the single traditional way. For handling the complex task or whatever attacker that performed by attacker, that APT is not just handled by performing one-way security measures. Okay, if you are implementing this single approach security mechanism to prevent the system, then that is not enough to prevent the system from APT attack. So that means what? To provide better security, the multiple or fusion approaches are required to just making your network preventive. So with a single approach security mechanism, no any assurity will be there that your system or your network is secured from the APT attack. So to understand how the APT, first executives of organization has to understand the motive behind the attack. So for any organization, if they want to establish the preventive mechanism, then first they have to understand the security required for APT. So which are the pitfalls are available in network, and which are the aim and objective of attacker to perform the APT. Once they are getting the idea or they are performing the analytics by analyzing the previous APT which is done on the network, then they are getting the idea which are the aims and objective of attacker. Once they are getting the idea, once they are getting the attack information, then the infrastructure, network infrastructure managers, they are able to establish the different security mechanism to prevent the APT attack. So any organization, any management of any organization still think they have paid or invested enough to handle every kind of cyber attacks, but once they are saying that they are paid, they have paid the much money for just securing their system, then that is the way the money will not solve the problem. That is the way, or that is the pitholes from where the APT will comes. Okay, so once establishing the security mechanisms, every time they have to analyze that is working or not. Every time the defensive network must be monitoring each and every stage or access of the network. Then and then the measures will applicable. So to understand how the APT threats accessed and preventive by the organization, they must have to find out, or they must have to understand the motive behind performing the attack. Okay, so that is only the reason, that is the way they can perform the security or secured security mechanism on the network. Attacker needs to do one vulnerability to compromise the security and make the way to get into the organization. They are performing some vulnerability task or performing exploits, or they are performing some attacks, and once in APT they are not just trying to stop that attack once they are failed. They are trying to perform that attack, their vulnerability or exploits again and again, up till that they are not success. So they are trying to doing that again and again. So what is the job of organization? They have to make the security mechanism that offensive every time they are checking, or they are available for checking the unauthorized access or traffic on network and monitoring all. So to check that vulnerability page and all. Okay, so for that the job of organization management team is there. Okay, now let us discuss the APT security measures. So APTs, whenever organization wants to build the security measures, first they have to understand actual attack cycle. So there are three different phases are there for APT, that is infiltration, the first stage of APT attack, second is expansion, and third is what? Extraction. So at which phase, at which stage the infrastructure wants to build the security mechanism, that is depends on the motive or whatever previously attack that is performed by the attacker. So by performing that analytics, they are performing different policy and approaches they are establishing for prevent the network. So in infiltration, the different steps or different stages are there. They are just the attacker trying to get the access of the network. So they are trying to taste the detection, the entry is there, they are trying to access the shared resources, they are performing the malware, or they are performing the white noise for just they are performing DDoS again and again for just down the network. So that is infiltration. In that step they are just trying to get the entry. So the organization, what organization can able to do? Just perform the prevention mechanism at that stage. No any shared resources will be unauthorized, will be having an unauthorized access, or no any shared resources is just left as a without any security mechanism. So this type of step that can be performed at a first stage. In second stage, what the intender or intruder can do, that is the whatever breakdown or broad access of the network. They are trying to fetch that request from unauthorized access and they are passing that to other connection on the network. So they are, what they are doing, they are expanding that access. So at that time also there is a chance where the whatever organization can build the security mechanism. At third stage, what they are doing, they are extracting the data, they are performing the white noise attack for moving the data from hiding the security mechanism which are established by the whatever organization. So at that place also there are the chance where the security mechanisms will be established. So according to the stages, the different mechanisms they have to develop by the organization, then and only then the prevention mechanism will be established. Okay, so for that the attack cycle and which are the holes are available from where attack will be performed, that all all the organization management committee have to understand, and then they have to establish the security mechanism. One important thing, only single approach, never be give the assurity that your network infra is secure from the APT. For that, the different types of security mechanisms they have to, or policy they have to establish. So, let us discuss the different measures of APT security measures. So, first let us discuss the traffic monitoring. So, monitoring ingress or egress traffic can be considered as a best practice for the preventing the installation of backdoors and blocking stolen data extraction. Okay, so the first measure is what? Traffic monitoring. The organization needs to establish traffic monitoring on the network for just getting the unusual traffic from outsider or unauthorized accessor. So they are putting the monitoring system where it will just make a authenticative or just make an analytical approach where the whatever black doors or blocking types of any vulnerability will be there, then it will gives the indications to the network establisher. So, whatever monitoring means what? Any unauthorization will be there, any unauthorization connection will provide any attachment or any connection or trying to establishing the connection to others. So, that type of monitoring. So, the alert will be there if something goes wrong in the networking, then it will gives the error. One in web application firewall, WAF, web application firewall deploy on the edge of your network traffic, your network filter traffics to your web application, that of protecting one of your vulnerable attack surfaces. So, what WAF doing? We are providing the firewall. So, the list out whatever specified web access or whatever the specified links they can access through the network, others are just banned. So, that is also one of the mechanism by accessing the other malicious webs and for trying to get the entry that we are banned from use through the firewall. Then internal traffic monitoring services such as the network firewall are there, whatever outside equation that or outsiders are using that, then they can provide the just showing the information that is this access is done by outsiders, or that anomalies are performed by the outsiders, or any unauthorized resources are accessing your network. That type of monitoring mechanism is also established by the APT measure, that is the traffic monitoring. Then monitoring the traffic, that means monitoring the each and every connection activity in the network and just alert if anything goes wrong. Any unusual traffic by unusual node, then also the alert will be there. Any unusual access of the web. So, for that the firewall mechanism are there, just establish this, the unauthorized access related web we cannot use through the network. So, this type of mechanism that can be just implemented by the management of any organization. Another measure, that is application and domain whitelisting. So, in whitelisting, that is the way of controlling the domain that can be accessed from your network, because the first step of APT is what? The getting the entry to the network. So, in this the application and whitelisting, that means the organization have to define the whitelist. These are the only softwares or these are only the application that is installed in particular whatever shared nodes or the whatever nodes available in network. So, what it will do? It will reduce the method of accessing the remote. Okay, remote access, because by minimizing the number of software access, there is no chance of installing anything outside of that list, and whatever listing are available, that is fed and securely security mechanisms are available on that. This is the security measure far from the foolproof. Okay, however, as in most trusted domain can be compromised, it is also known as the malicious file. Sometimes it may be happen whatever trusted nodes are there, there may be a chance they are also compromising the security through the malicious file sharing. That may be possible. So, commonly what they are doing, they are performing any older versions are there, they are prone to being compromised and exploited, then that alert will be there. So, application and domain whitelisting, that means whatever application access and whatever domain access or installation you are providing, that whitelisting is there. Outside of that, the whatever node resides within that network, that cannot be installed. So, for effective whitelisting, strict update the policy should be enforced to assure that the users are always running the latest version. Okay, once any application just come up with any of updated version, then there is one forceful policy, whatever nodes available in network, that must have to use the latest updated version. So, no any version mismatching is there. So, no any pirated software will be accessed by the system, no any anonymous web access is there in the system. So, that type of domain whitelisting will be there. Sometimes you have seen the organization is not permit to install any pirated software or any open source which permission is not accessed or granted by the company. So, that is the purpose of to prevent this organization from the APT. Then the next third measures is what? Access control. For intruder, the employees typically represent the largest and most vulnerable soft spot in your security parameter. Okay. So, the more often than not, this is why your network users are viewed by the intruder as an easy gateway infiltrators. That means sometimes they are getting the entry from the one of the user who is available in your authorized user who is available in network, and through that they are getting the entry. So, they are performing some of the attacks by stealing that credential information, and they are performing the access from the from their credentials. So, that is the access control. So, this establish some of the mechanism. So, any outsiders or intruder cannot get the information from the authorized user access control. So, in this, the careless user who ignore the network security in your organization policy unknowingly grant or just take back access for particular potential threats. Okay. Sometimes what happen in organization, all mechanisms are there, all is settled down, the security mechanisms are there, but one of the person who is not taking care any of security or not understanding the matter of security, and he is trying to just disclose that information to others, then automatically intruder have a chance to get into the network. So, just try to find out the careless people and just get back that grant. So, the information will be secure. Malicious insider who intentionally abuse your user credential. Sometimes some employees of the organization, they are come up with some intentional objectives and they are trying to exploit that. So, that is also one of the parameter for accessing, unauthorized accessing control will be there. And compromised users whose network access privilege are compromised, that is used by the attacker. So, their access control is also be required. The policy, the organization have to establish the access control policy to prevent the system from the APT. Now, other security measures. By developing the effective controls that require the comprehensive review of everyone in your whatever organization, especially the information in which they have access. Okay. So, the other mechanism, that means any effective control that needs the comprehensive review, the detailed, the systematic review of everyone in the organization who are using the network with the information what they have as access. For example, like classifying the data need to know basis helps, like which users have which rights. Okay, according to which rights and intruders have ability to hijack the login credential, the level wise tab. Like for an example, the HOD have more sensitive information access, the faculty have lesser and the student have lesser than there. So, according to the level wise, they are trying to perform the injective task or they are trying to perform the credential stealing task. After whatever credential access, the attacker should try to perform to get the entry into the organization. So that is also one of the whole where the security measures are required. The key network access points should be secured with two-factor authorization 2FA. It requires user to use a second form of verification when accessing the sensitive areas. So once you are entered with your credential, but if you are touching the some other authorized information, then again it will try to just ask for the credential or any code or accessing code, that is two-way authentication. For an example, your mobile has the your mobile lock, and if you are trying to use any banking application, or if you want to perform any transaction, then application will ask for what? The code. So that type of 2FA, two-factor authentication mechanism they have to establish. The people have the different access, the all access that they can do with the single, but the sensitive access if they are trying to perform, then it will ask for the secure code, and then the other whatever sensitive information access will be there as per the verification. So that is also one of the policy. Now there are multiple protection mechanisms which are available to just get the prevention from the APT, that is firewall as we have discussed. Application filtering as we have discussed, whatever domain listing, whitelistings are there. So rather than that, other application never accessible in the network. Third, endpoint detection, which are the endpoints available, and that detection up to that the new one is not entered. Antivirus solution. The other measures are patching network software and OS vulnerabilities quickly as possible. Okay, so whatever patching networks are there, whatever updations are there, just do at a time. That's strictly just mandatory for the all the resources which are available on network. Then encryption of remote connection to prevent the intruders from the piggybacking them to whatever infiltrate the sites. So sometimes what intruder they are doing, they are just trying to get the entry through the remote access. So just do the encryption of remote access, so that will also make one protection layer from the entry. Filtering incoming emails to prevent the spam and phishing attack. So just provide some first level entry, infiltrate stage entry level of mechanism, that is filter the incoming mail for just preventing from the spam and other phishing. So just restrict that type of mail which are just comes under for the network accessibility. Immediate logging of security events help to improve the whitelist and other security policy. So these are the other measures which can be established for preventing mechanism. Now another, these all are about the APT, advanced persistent threat. We have seen the what is APT, the APT how works, what is the aim of APT, what damage will be cured and what damage will be happen once APT will there, how organization make a prevention from the APT, which are the different security measures we have seen. Now let us focus on another topic of today's session, that is cyber kill chain. So what is cyber kill chain? Kill chain is a term originally used by the military to define the steps an enemy uses to attack on a target. So in 2011, the Lockheed Martin released a paper defining the cyber kill chain. In similar concept with the military model, it defines the steps that is used by the cyber attackers in today's cyber based attack. So they are performing the whatever chain to perform the cyber attack. The theory is that by attackers at each state of respective stages, the more points at which you can intercept the bad guy, the better the chance you have denied them for their objective and force them to make enough noise. You can more easily just detect them as a normal. Okay, what that theory says, whatever bad guy is there, you can stop them, or you are trying to just give a indication, just do the noise, they are performing and they are that is easily you will find out the rough node. Okay, so that is the main aim. So military kill chain is what? As per the Wikipedia, traditional military kill chain introduced the multiple stages F2, T2, EA. 2 times F, 2 times T, EA. F, first F, that means find. Locate the target. Okay, the military kill shell, that means locate the target where they have to perform the attack. Fix their location, make it difficult for them to move. Okay, if you are finding that is the place where attack will be performed, just make it tight, make them difficult to move one to another. Then track, that means monitor the environment. Monitor entire environment if you are finding any type of leaking. Target, select an appropriate weapon or asset to use target to create the desired. Okay, just find out or just select the appropriate weapon, that means security mechanisms or any assets to just make a prevention from that attack. Then whatever engage, that means apply the weapon on the target and assess, then evaluate the effects of the attack. So, find the location where the attack will can be performed, then fix the location, don't give the move rights, track, that means monitor the movement, target, that means apply the or just select the appropriate weapon, then engage, then apply the weapon, and then asset, that means just evaluate the effects of weapon. Now, Nurturize entire cyber attack. So, in Nurturize, this is the entire cycle. In first stage, that is reconnaissance, that means research, identify and select the target. As we have seen, the first is what? Just you have to research, you have to identify the selection of target. Second, weaponization. Second process is what? Weaponization. Pairing the remote access and malware that exploit into the deliverable payloads. Okay, just identify the different weaponization. In terms of cyber security, just design the documents, malicious document, just send it on the target. If target just download it, then automatically rest of tasks will be done. Delivery, that means transmission of the weapon, that means sending of whatever document you have created as a weapon through a network. Exploitation, that means once delivered, then weapons code is triggered, and according to trigger, the vulnerability application of the system that get the access. Then installation, through that weapon what you are doing, you are providing the backdoor scripts. So, the target system allowing to just access that installation and then just install that backdoor scripts. Then command and control. In command and control, outside server communication on weapons provide the hands-on keyboard access. They are trying to get the access of keyboard and whatever pirated or whatever malicious installation they have done, they are getting the access control system. And then actions and objective. The attacker works on achieve the entire objective of the intrusion, which can include the exploitation and exploits and whatever destruction of the data. So, just see, the first step is what? The gather the information of the target on which you have to perform the attack. Just decide the target, fix that target. Once you fix the target on which the impact you want, from which the intended information you are getting, that is your target. So, if you want to get the company's financial information, then you must have to identify the location from where you are getting that. So, that define the target. Then second, that is weaponization. To perform cyber attacks does not interact with the intended victim. Instead, they create their attack. They are creating the attack. So, for attacking, what they are doing? They are creating malicious document like a PDF, Word, Excel, any malicious. With that, they are passing some attacks or some backdoor what? Scripts or some vulnerabilities. So, once they are opening that, then automatically in backend they are installing the anonymous or malicious node. Then delivery, that means what? Whatever weapon they have created, they are passing over a network, sending the phishing attack or DDoS or any type of attack they are performing for passing that whatever weapon they have created. Third, that is exploitation, that means actual whatever detonation of attack that will be done, they are running on the system. With that, they are installing some anonymous code and they are trying to get the access. Okay, so in installation, what they are doing? They are performing that whatever passing information with that vulnerability or exploits that are passing, or they are performing DDoS, with that they are trying to install the anonymous script. So, with that script, what they are doing? Command and control, try to get the command and control of the system, and after getting or hunting entire control system, the action and objective will be performed. Whatever information cyber attacker needs to access, they are getting the access and they are stalling the information, achieve their objective, and then they are passing information or they are moving information to the other organization. So, that is entire cyber kill chain, which is originally conceived by the military for getting the information from the other country. So, that is the cyber attack chain. So, let us sum up it. Whatever session we have just learned today. Today we have learned the APT security measures after performing attack, which type of security measures needs to be established by any of organization. There are different types of measures we have seen, like traffic monitoring, access control, then whitelisting of software, define the access policy to the whatever authorized user of the network, that we have seen. Then we are moving forward with the cyber kill chain, in which what we have studied the different whatever military kill chain concept is there, that is entire cycle is established, for which the targeted whatever targeted node is there, just establish the attack on that and find the sensitive information. So, today we have learned these all concepts, which is useful for you for preventing, just establish the preventing mechanism for the attacks. Okay. Thank you friends for just learning these all concepts, that is advanced persistent threat, its security mechanisms and cyber kill chain. Thank you.